but Flano resists making change in the halves despite their losses.
Can I ask a question? Does Kyle Flanagan cop a whack every week because of his ability or because he is the son of the coach? Gordon?
Both. I'd say both.
What can Lachlan Ilias bring to the side so Kyle Flanagan
So
can't?
in the last 10 years, anytime your side loses, you always blame the halves or your spine. That's one of them, and his dad's the coach. And he's had a crack at other clubs and hasn't quite made it. So that's pretty much it. Is it fairly targeted? I'd say no at times with fans, but that's the NRL. If Luke Brooks's dad coached, what was happening there? Everybody polled on that poor kid. It just happens.
I would argue if Flano wasn't the coach, I don't think Kyle would still be in the team, because you've got to own up to the fact that, like, he tries his guts out. No one ever accuses him of not trying his guts out, but his kicking game hasn't been great. His game management hasn't been great. He doesn't pose a great attacking threat. You've got Lachlan Ilias, who Shane Flanagan brought to the club. He brought him to the club to play halfback. He got dropped because of his game management. He went back and he did what he had to do. They've lost their last 4 games, and Flano's dug his heels in, and he's not going to change. He's just not going to change. But is that because Kyle's his son, or because Kyle's just a player that he really believes is playing to the best of his ability, and Lockie can't come in and do something better?
Braith,
What do you think?
Can I ask you how Lachlan's going, emotionally and form-wise?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to ask. Put me on the spot.
No, I know, but you're close to him.
Mate, well, you'd be struggling, right? So if you've got put back in reserve grade...
I'm just talking about his mental
I
state.
can't win doggy because you ask me that question and then, you know, Shane and the Dragons will think I'm having a crack. But if you want my honest opinion, that he's gone back and did everything he's asked of. You know, they won 10 out of 11 games, you know, and then pretty much because they lost one on the weekend, that's why he's not playing this week. But that, you know, I don't cop that because, you know, I've sat pretty quiet here, and you know that's because I don't want to get involved because it's pretty hard for me. But he couldn't do any more, and unfortunately for him, I'm trying to keep him up because he's losing hope, and I'm sure the other kid there is Glover is as well. But you know, it's very rare, right, that a New South Wales Cup team wins 10 out of 11, and the first grade team continues to lose, and a lot of it's based around game management and defence in those positions, which I've watched over the past few weeks, and there's no changes. So what hope do you have? And you know, I could be maybe I shouldn't say this but I had to because that's how I feel.
There's another layer to that too. There's another layer to the story in the fact that, you know, the Dragons senior management has come out in recent weeks and said that they're chasing a top line number 7. Well, you'd have to question, of the young guys coming through, would you want to send a young 7, like say Pezzett as an example, would you want to send him to the Dragons knowing that, mate, there's every chance Kyle stays at 7? You know, like they've shown no trust in the bloke that they brought last year to play 7. So I think it's doing the club damage, and they might not want to admit it, but it's the truth.
All right. Thank you, Journo. Stick around. Tonight, following NRL 360, one of the game's greats, Greg Inglis sits down with Jake Duke on Face to Face.